5 years had passed since the blast that wiped out his unit, yet Navy SEAL Rowan Hale still woke each morning with fire in his lungs and silence crushing his chest. Time had moved forward, but he remained trapped in that moment. On a bitter winter afternoon, as he crossed a nearly deserted park, his steps slowed. Near a dim street lamp sat a young woman on the frozen ground, clutching a German shepherd close. A small piece of cardboard rested beside them, weighed down by a stone. $5 for sale. The dog didn't whine. He didn't move. He only watched, steady, alert, waiting. And in those eyes, Rowan saw something painfully familiar. The same gaze his fallen canine once had. Loyal. Wounded. Still standing guard. Winter had wrapped the city of Duth in silence. Snow muted every sound, covering rooftops and sidewalks in dull gray and white. The air burned with every breath. Rowan walked alone, his posture rigid, trained by years of discipline and survival. At 35, his tall frame still carried strength, but exhaustion lived beneath it. His short dark hair and trimmed beard weren't style choices, just habits that never left. His gray eyes, sharp yet permanently tired, belonged to a man who never truly rested. Rowan lived in a small apartment on the edge of the city, far from people and noise. Doctors had warned him his nervous system would never fully recover. Discharge sounded gentle, but it meant isolation, routine, and learning to survive inside his own mind. His VA benefit barely covered the basics. Every dollar was tracked in a small notebook. Rent, heat, food, medication. Nothing extra. No mistakes allowed. Earlier that day he had visited the benefits office, then stopped at a discount store. He bought only necessities: milk, bread, soup, painkillers, cheap gloves. When he stepped back into the cold, his wallet was lighter but not empty. Enough for one simple meal. The park was silent now. Snow buried the benches. Bare trees stretched upward like skeletal fingers. Then a siren ripped through the air. A police cruiser raced past, lights flashing. The sound struck Rowan like a blow. His body locked instantly. Chest tight. Breath gone. Heat surged as the world narrowed, white snow, red light, black shadows. 5 years ago he'd led his team into a foreign warehouse. He'd sensed something was wrong too late. The explosion came anyway. Back in the park, Rowan dropped to one knee, forcing himself to breathe. Hold. Real. Count. Hold. When the siren faded, he stood again, exhausted but steady. He resumed walking, quietly, carefully, trying to remember how to live in a world that never waited. The wind sharpened as Rowan moved deeper into the park. Snow drifted across the path, soft and uneven, as if the world itself had gone hollow. That was when he noticed her. She sat beneath a flickering street lamp near the far edge of the walkway. Her arms were wrapped tightly around the German shepherd pressed against her chest. She looked young, maybe 27, but weariness had settled deep into her posture. Her coat hung loose and thin, long past its ability to keep her warm. Dark strands of hair escaped from beneath a worn knit hat, clinging to pale skin. There was no panic on her face. Only quiet endurance. Like someone who had already learned that showing pain didn't change anything. The dog was large but lean. Black and tan fur dulled by dirt and winter. His ribs showed faintly, not from neglect, but from hunger stretched over time. One front leg carried the stiffness of an old injury. Still, he sat with discipline that didn't belong to a stray. His ears rested low, heavy with fatigue, not fear. When his eyes met Rowan's, they were calm, steady, watchful. Between them lay the cardboard sign. Rowan stopped walking. He felt the weight of his grocery bag, the faint clink of cans inside. His fingers brushed the few folded bills left in his pocket. The dog didn't move. That unsettled him more than anything. No begging. No fear. Just observation, as if measuring the kind of man standing in front of him. A memory surfaced. A different dog. A different life. Rowan crouched a short distance away, careful not to crowd them. "I'm not going to touch him," he said quietly. The woman tightened her hold slightly. "He doesn't like sudden movements." I noticed. Up close, Rowan could see the cracks she worked hard to hide, the slight tremble in her fingers, the tension that never fully left her shoulders. She was holding herself together through effort alone. "My name's Eliza," she said softly. "This is Rook." The dog's ears twitched at his name. "He's a good dog," she added quickly. "He doesn't cause trouble." "I can see that." Rowan pulled a folded bill from his pocket but didn't extend it. Her eyes flicked to it, then back to his face. "I'm not selling him," she said fast. I don't know what else to do." Rowan nodded. He understood that sentence too well. He placed the bill gently on the cardboard. "I'm not buying him," he said. "Just helping." Snow drifted between them as silence settled. Rook leaned subtly against Eliza, never taking his eyes off Rowan. And for reasons Rowan couldn't explain, walking away suddenly felt heavier than staying. The cold deepened as evening crept in, seeping slowly into bone and breath. Rowan finally spoke again. "Why are you selling him?" Eliza's grip tightened around Rook's collar. "I don't want to," she said quietly. "I just want him to have a better life." Rowan studied her. "Where do you sleep?" "Under the bridge by the river." "When did you last eat?" "2 days ago." There was no drama in her voice, only truth. Rowan checked the weather alert on his phone. Wind chill, -20. His jaw tightened. "You won't make it through the night." "I'm not asking for." "I'm not offering charity," he interrupted gently. "I have a place. It's small but it's warm enough." Suspicion flickered across her face. Then she looked down at Rook. The dog leaned into her leg, grounding her. After a long moment she nodded. "Just until it's safe. That's all I'm offering." They moved through the snow together, 3 strangers bound by silence. Rowan's apartment was small but orderly. Everything had a place. He turned up the heater, laid out blankets, and offered water. Eliza relaxed slightly as warmth reached her skin. Rook ate slowly when Rowan shared what food he had. No guarding. No rush. Later, Eliza spoke of her brother. A soldier. Brave. Gone 5 years now. Rowan listened, saying little. When he spoke, he only said, "I used to have a team." That night, Rowan woke gasping, trapped in fire and soundless chaos. His hands clawed at the air. Rook rose instantly. The dog didn't bark. Didn't rush. He placed himself close and began breathing, slow, steady. Rowan's eyes locked onto the movement. His breath slowly followed. The nightmare loosened its grip. In the dim light, Eliza watched silently. "He does that," she whispered. "When someone's scared." Morning came quietly. Snow layered the world in white. Rook lay calmly nearby as if guarding the room itself. For the first time in years, Rowan felt like the night hadn't won completely. Over the following days, a rhythm formed. Eliza helped around the apartment, careful not to take up space. Rowan fixed what he could. Rook became the steady center, watchful, calm, grounding everyone around him. One evening, Eliza showed Rowan a photograph. Her brother in uniform. Rowan froze. He knew that face. "I knew him," Rowan said quietly. "He was on my team." The truth settled heavy between them. Shared loss. Shared history. From there, pieces fell into place. Eliza spoke of her mother's accident, the rushed paperwork, the pressure to sell their home. Rowan listened and recognized patterns. He made a call. The investigation moved quickly. Shell companies. Forced sales. Accidents disguised as coincidence. By morning, warrants were signed. Justice didn't arrive loudly. It came methodically. Weeks later, something new existed. A space for veterans. A place where silence was safe. They called it Still Watching. Rook became its heart. Rowan still had bad nights. Eliza still carried grief. But neither faced it alone. Sometimes miracles don't arrive with thunder. Sometimes they come as a warm room on a cold night, a loyal soul who stays, and a choice not to walk away. And that is how healing begins.